welcome back to my channel. My name is April, and this is April's Fresh Start Budgets, where money and budgets don't have to be intimidating or scary, and every day is a fresh start to make great financial decisions and win with money. So I hope you guys like what you see here. If you do, please give this video a like, subscribe, or leave a comment. In our first video, which I have linked down below, I showed you how we create a monthly budget, or how I created my monthly budget in order to help us pay off over $14,000 worth of debt in 2023. Now, since we did pay off that debt a couple weeks ago, I went ahead and started calculating the next budget for the last 2 months of 2023 and going into 2024. But looking back at our 2023 budget, you can see here that we were budgeting with a total of $5,272 a month. Okay, so once you have created your monthly budget, and again, if you missed our first video, I showed you how to come up with some of these figures, such as groceries, Christmas, that type of stuff in our first video, and I will have that video linked below. Once you've come up with your monthly budget, you want to figure out how many times a month you get paid. So for 2023, my husband and I got paid on the same days. We both got paid. So we were getting paid both twice a month, and they were on the same day. For some reason, every 4 years, my husband's company switches the weeks that he gets paid. I think it has something to do with leap year. So at the end of September, or end of August, early September 2023, they actually switched him to another week. So now for 2024, he will get paid every other week that I get paid. So we'll have our money coming in every week. So for 2023, what I did was, because we were getting paid on the same day, I created these billing cycles. Now, a lot of budgeters that you'll see will create a monthly budget new every month, and that's fine if that's what works for you. But for me, creating one budget for the whole year is much easier. And if you need to make tweaks like that, that's absolutely fine. You can make tweaks, but creating a whole new budget every month just didn't seem to work for me. It seemed too time consuming. So I created one budget for the whole year, and just things like, Christmas, those birthdays, just divide it up into little portions, 12 portions, and divvy it out that way, versus trying to save for all of Christmas in end of November or the month of December. So what I typically did was I created my budgets during the month of, or reviewed everything at the month of November, created the budgets in December, and then implemented them in January. Well, because we paid off our debt last month, I decided that I would create the new budget, 2024 budget, at the end of 2023 and implement it starting today, November 1st. So here is the 2023 budget that we just finished up. Like I said, we were getting paid on the same days. So it was 4 paychecks, but it was coming every 2 weeks. So we got paid like January 4th. My husband and I both got paid. And then the billing cycle 2 was happening January 18th. So what I did was I divided it up into 2 billing cycles that were pretty much about equal. So the one is 2635, the other one is 2637. Now what you can do is first billing cycle of the month, or first bill, you could put all the bills that are due at the beginning of that month. And then you can fill it in with different amounts from other things, like, putting Christmas here, pets there, whatever you need to do. Things like the electric bill were coming out at the end of the month, so I put that on the second billing cycle, and then filled it in with other things like saving for my new car, new cell phone, just so that they were very similar amounts. And then once that billing cycle date came around, instead of, creating a new budget for that whole next couple of weeks, I just implemented this billing cycle. And I will show you how I did that. I did that with these. This is also how I keep track of everything. Do it with these trackers here. And I have some links down below to some Amazon links for where I get these trackers from. And pretty much you could get these trackers on Amazon. I also use these little tags to create all my different budget categories, and then use my label maker in order to label those. So that's really all you need. If this is too much of an investment for you and you're just getting started, you could pick up a legal pad at the Dollar Tree and that would work too. However it works for you is the best option, as long as you can make it work. For me, this type of method works really well, and I'll show you how I implement it now. So let's go to our 2024 budget, and I'll show you how we implement that. So for 2024, like I said, because now my husband, well, it's starting today, so end of 2023, 2024. Because my husband is now getting paid the opposite weeks that I am, we now have a paycheck coming in every week, which is nice, that we have, you know, even though it's the same amount of money coming in a month, it's kind of nice to have a little bit of money coming in every week. So the budget billing cycle amounts are going to be smaller. Like billing cycle 1 is for my husband's paychecks. Billing cycle 2 is for my paychecks. My paychecks are obviously smaller, so it's a smaller amount budgeted. Billing cycle 3 is again my husband's next paychecks. I tried to get them as close as I could. This one is a $20 difference, so not too bad. And then billing cycle 4 is mine again. And it's okay if you want to divide it up, you know, dividing up things. I actually pay my mortgage bi-weekly, so it does come out bi-weekly, and it's easier for me to budget it as such as well. Okay, so today is billing cycle 1, November 1st, 2023. So how I start tracking these is like so. Now, one thing you will notice that I do is in order to create a buffer in my checking account, I round down to the nearest dollar on income. So if my husband's paycheck is, let's say, $1,718.28, I round down to $1,718. And then I round up on expenses. So today we have a Google storage charge of $2.11. I'm going to call it $3. So rounding down on income, rounding up to the nearest dollar on expenses, that one creates like a buffer in my checking account. And also, since I mentioned in the first video, I do Acorns for investing, and Acorns allows you to round up certain charges so that you can roll that into your investment account, and rounding up those expenses allows me to do that as well. But it does also create a buffer in my checking account, which I like. Okay, so let's first start with implementing the income that we got today. So item number, we'll call it income. Today's date, 11/1. Description, we'll call it hubby income. Okay, now if it's a payment or a debit, it goes here. This is a credit, so it's going here, and his amount was $1,712. Okay, so I have to bring over the balance from the old system, the old filing. It actually looks exactly like this on this one, so I will do that at a later time off camera. And then what we're going to do next is we're going to do 11/1 and then call it billing cycle 1. And now we're going to deduct that amount of $1,590. So think of it like you have this, the main account is like your big bucket, and all of these little accounts are like spoons that you're taking out of. All the money is essentially in there, but we're just divvying it out to little different things. And then that way this can keep track of it by category as well. So the first category is going to be the gas. And we'll say item number I won't fill that part out. Date 11/1, call it billing cycle 1. So billing cycle 1 is the spoon that's taking from that main account and filling this little bucket here. So we're going to call this a credit of 80. And again, I'll bring over the balances from the old account or the old trackers that I used for 2023. So let me fill this out. This is for the water, sewer, and garbage, billing cycle 1. This is 80. Okay, storage. Okay, so now once you have done this all the way down the line, you will then go ahead and track for your expenses. So the expense that I had this week, or today, since it is the first, today's the beginning of it, I had a Google storage charge. Now, item number, what I usually put in this book, I usually put a reference to the card or account that I use. So if my husband used it, I'll put his account. If it was a check, I could put the check number. So I will put a reference to the account that was used, the date, the transaction, and it's Google storage, what we paid today. And again, this was a $2.11 transaction, but I round up transactions and round down income. So this was -3. Okay, so I'll do the math on this. Okay, so let me finish adding all of these categories of billing cycle 1. And if I can, I'm gonna see if I can put the video on a little faster motion here, but my editing skills are non-existent at this point. So we will see how I can do that. Now, one reason why I really like this way of tracking is because it really allows you to keep track of where you're at with each category as the month goes on. So you don't have to guess and hope to heck that you have the money at the end of the month. If you are a cash budgeter, that's obviously easy to do when you have cash, but if you choose not to use cash, either for safety reasons, convenience reasons, whatever your personal reasons are, that's totally up to you. I am 99% cashless. Obviously, I'll have cash for my savings challenges, but other than that, we really don't use cash. So this is a way to track on how we're doing and how we're keeping up to date with each category. And my other book here, I ran out of space in the first book, so I did 2 because I wanted to make sure I had enough pages to track everything. Okay, now I will also track the other expenses that I had today. My youngest son is in a really cool, like, kids ninja gymnastics class. And I got that bill come out today. That one is 90. Then I already checked the Google storage. I already checked my husband's income. And we also got some groceries at the Costco. So notice here, I don't have any positive yet. I do in the other book that I'll bring over here, but I will just keep on going from the previous one as well. Okay, and there it is.